Hello, this is not a trucking channel, and this is not about communism. It is about the communists. I am in the Vince Lombardi rest area, which is outside of New York City. It's the big rest area over here. I kind of don't feel bad about talking into the microphone for one time because these urban people are going to be shouting all day long in this parking lot, and it's very irritating. So I'm just another irritating individual in this place. The management is punishing me for taking 2 days off last week. So once again, I am in New Jersey. It's weird how they do that, but whatever. What about the communists? I know I harp on and on about communists a lot, but they're an existential threat. No, the most important thing is like, yo, these are people, and it sucks because they've been our enemy, you know, more often than not. I'd say they still are our enemy. I have a bumper sticker that says the only good commie is a dead commie. Like, I'm really against communism. Just after reading so much about it, that's how that happened. But then, I go to a Chinese restaurant, and I'm in the restaurant, and they're such nice people, and I think, like, these people are the communists. Like, how can you be mad at, like, the people? They're exactly like we are. They're just under a different umbrella. And, and but we should be weary of communism because it's infiltrating our society. Like, the Korean War was over, and then Vietnam was over, and then Cold War was over, and the Soviet Union fall apart, and communist countries fail, or they're overthrown. There's revolutions, and there's new ones and old ones, and some go and some reappear, and all these things. But after the Cold War, we pretty much went on with our lives and said, whatever. When they tore down the wall, we forgot about it, but they never forgot about us. And you can see this through, I think, in two ways. The first way that the communists are infiltrating our society is cultural Marxism. And they're doing that through the Democrats, who are bought and paid for. And you don't even have to buy it or pay for it, because they're giving it away for free, because it's in line with their demented world perspective to just do the same thing communists do, but they call it, oh, it's socialism, so it's not communism, or, whatever. Cultural Marxism is just the way they're degrading society. In my video about Democrats, I forgot to mention all their identity politics. Well, I touched on it a little bit, but I didn't touch on race in terms of identity politics. Like, they're constantly making everything about race, and they say it's to end racism, but they're like the biggest promoters of racism. You're this race, you're that race, you're this race, you're that race. We're not Americans. You're a black American, you're a white American, you're an Asian American, and you're all racist, but not us. We're not racist. Only you. Another thing I forgot to mention was their climate policies, which could be seen as a form of destabilization, even though they're taking it all the way to the bank with their batteries, their nonsense about shoving batteries down our throat all the time. But I mean, those people were burning down forests and everything to promote their agenda. And if that's not some underhanded tactics, I mean, how screwed up do you got to be to burn down a forest? I'm still mad about that, and they were caught doing it over and over again during that 2020 election season. And they're saying, be afraid of the forest fires, global warming. But it's like, dude, you're doing it. But that's not the point. Culture Marxism is just, the other thing is their godlessness. This is why I like the church, because the church is in opposition to godless heathens. And if I had to pick between the heathens who are just out to tear everything down so that they can take it over, or the church who already built something and is ruling over it, maybe if I was the 13-year-old kid I used to be, I'd say, yeah, burn it down. But I'm not 13 anymore. Don't burn it down, just let it be. Or there's that kid is still inside of there somewhere, so let's not get too hasty. The other way that they're infiltrating our society, besides culture Marxism, which I probably should go on more about that, but I'm not, because these videos are kind of short. It's the Chinese, dude. The Chinese are the communists. They're out there. And what they're doing to us is very classic Chinese logic. It's just death by 1,000 cuts. They've just been chipping away at us a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. They've been waging war against us without firing a bullet. They're just chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. How are they doing this? The biggest example is Ovid K. What do they call Ovid K? The Eine Che Iris Ve. And we still haven't recovered from COVID, which it doesn't take you don't have to be very intelligent to understand that shutting down the economy and the school systems and everything, whatever they did or didn't shut down, even for like one day, you'd be feeling that forever. They did it for like 2 years, and we're still feeling it. And the economy tanked ever since COVID, and like, big surprise, who would have seen that coming besides anybody with a clue, who's not completely brain dead. I mean, my favorite restaurant in Portland, Oregon, where I was living, Ichidai, this beautiful Japanese restaurant. It was just, you couldn't ask for a more authentic, happy place to eat. And it went out of business during COVID, and I'm still mad about that. So shout out to Ichidai. I don't know. The Chinese, what else did they do? Well, they bought and paid for Iden Bay and Eris Hay. So, but I mean, it's just leftists. They're thick as thieves, and it's not just in the United States. It's a global thing. All the leftists have been in cahoots since. I'm not educated on what happened before the French Revolution, but I do know that ever since the French Revolution, the leftists, they're all one thing. They show up in different places, but it's just they're all sharing the same origin, which I don't know how to explain that. It's just a kind of frame of reference thing when you look at it. And Thomas Sowell, what is he, a philosopher? I don't know, but he said, he's like, the left is just one thing, and the right is a collection of entities that are just in opposition to the left. But the left, it's only one thing, and that's why it's hard to fight it, because it's very well built. It's a well built machine, totalitarian machine of just dominating. And, we're all coming at it from one angle, but it's consolidated power. And, and if you think about, a fighting force, you've got 50 soldiers in a group against 25 over here and 25 over here. The 50 destroys the 25, maybe loses 5, then the 45 destroy the other 25. And that's how the left deals with opposition too, because it's all divided and scattered. Divide and conquer, of course, is a whole other can of worms we could do some other time. But we forgot about the commies, that they are out there and they're coming in here. They own the voting machines. The Chinese own our voting machines and they operate our voting machines. So do you have to even hack a voting machine if you are the owner of the voting machine? And then you wonder why the last election went the way it did. And this has not been rectified. This, to my knowledge, remains the case to the present day. And so we're about to have another election where the exact same thing could happen. And, I'm not a big fan of voting because I think it's kind of dumb, but it's all we got, in a sense. It's better than nothing, at least, sort of. But it's kind of an insult, and you feel like maybe just keep it. Dude, I love Trump. I want Trump back because I am a big fan. When he came in, I thought he was a grease ball. I didn't care, but I watched what they did to him, the political persecution over and over, and I was like, all right, this guy's cool. This is a cool story, if nothing else. And maybe it's all a fairy tale, but it's what we got. Anyways, this is not about communism. It's about the communists. Those people are people just like us. And yeah, they're in opposition to us and we're in opposition to them, but we're trying to create a global awakening, which includes everybody. And so it's hard to reconcile those two different perspectives, but I guess, it's an important detail in the scheme of things. I gotta go. Love ya. Deuces.